Today on Inside the Music, we are talking with The Nudge. We've got, is it the dreaded mullet and dart?
Dreaded mullet.
Say no more.
Drullet.
Drullet.
You just sort of roll those two together and you get yourself a drullet.
The drullet.
But tidied up in the Hills hat actually today.
Yeah?
So
Yeah, we really needed to keep those dreads tidy, so Hills came to the party and got the dreadlock. You know, safe as houses.
Baggy Rasta.
So what's with the nicknames? Is it stage names?
Oh,
Well,
no, I think it's actually just come from a fair amount of healthy banter amongst the boys. My actual name is
Definite banter.
Edire, but Dart will do. I'm completely cool with Dart. This is James,
yo.
and unfortunately Ryan is unable to make it, but you're not missing much, so it's all good.
Dart's quite funny. Like we played down this festival, the Catlins River Festival, a few years ago, and there was a casual dartboard backstage, and those Dunedin lads just love it down there, love playing darts, and I was getting amongst, and Ed just sat and watched the whole night, you know.
Yeah.
And didn't throw a spear. Didn't throw a spear at all.
Didn't throw one arrow.
And then we got back to Wellington, and he was absolutely frothing on the darts from then on, and has just kept it up, and you know, plays a lot of darts. And dart became just the call, you know, a good dart. You know, when you sort of have a
You throw an epic dart, you know, and it's just
yeah.
dart.
When somebody does something good in darts, generally people explode in laughter and you know, happiness about a good dart. And so dart's just the word when it's like, oh, this is bloody good. Something good happens.
So does anyone ever randomly yell at 180? And
Yep,
yeah,
That happens.
totally,
That happens.
totally.
you've convinced me.
I've never thrown one, have you?
Yep, I've thrown one.
You've
I've thrown
thrown a 180?
two. I've thrown two for the camera. One meaningful, one luck.
Really?
Actually, Bolt though, he's thrown 7.
7 180.
You know they're all luck though.
Yeah.
So tell us about yourselves. Like, when did you guys start The Nudge?
I'd say 7 years ago. We've replaced ourselves since then.
2010.
2010, yep. And came from Ryan, who'd been playing solo, and just wanted to put a band together to play the songs that he'd had written. And then we recorded an album with those songs, Big Nudge Pie, and put that out 2012 maybe.
2011.
2011. And then we sort of wrote some songs together as a band, which were sort of more movements and pieces rather than songs, you know, per se, and that's what went into the latest record, Dark Arts.
Mm-hmm. So the latest record you've just recently released, you're doing the tour now? Today's the last day, is it?
It's the finale.
The finale?
One more day.
One more day, election day, finale,
Yeah.
Dark Arts tour. It has actually been immense. It's been a great little experience for us. Some amazingly supportive fans out there, which is, you know, always humbling and always good, eh? We also got chucked in the middle of all of that. We had the fortunate opportunity of opening for Midnight Oil, which was fantastic and actually kind of set the tour in motion, because we released the album in February this year, but we hadn't toured it for whatever reasons, babies, this, that, the other, and so that kind of sparked our get out on the road. So we did 4 shows leading up to those and another 5 afterwards, and yeah, tonight's the last one.
It's quite an extensive tour, really.
Yeah, and over weekends it's been quite cool because, I mean, I guess that's a bit of an experiment, and it'd be interesting to ask the partners afterwards, did that work? You know, what's better, to go away for 7 weekends or to go away for 2 weeks, you know? And,
You know you don't ask them, bro, because they'll be like, nah. I mean,
Oh,
it's
no,
hard
I
work.
think
It's hard work.
interesting
We you know, we got kids at home. You know, we got kids, and that kind of stuff, and it's hard. But 2 weeks straight is also 2 weeks out of your primary income, you know.
Yeah.
Just for the camera, you know, like we all have our day jobs, you know what I mean. So it's extensive in the fact that it took almost 2 months.
But cool style though, like
Yeah.
building up in some of those small towns first up, like Hastings, Whanganui, Waido Valley, before we played our first city show. Like that was cool. Just travelling, go up, time to catch up, time to chat to people and meet whānau and have breakfasts and lunches, and you know, and then to hit the sort of Wellington show with those kind of shows behind it was very cool. And then onwards from there, Midnight Oil.
So what's your favourite venue to play so far?
It'd have to be San Fran for me. Although Horncastle Arena was a really nice venue, like a nice sounding venue for an arena show.
Yeah, I'd agree with Jim. What do you think, Bully?
Although,
what do you reckon? Oh, San Fran all the way.
there's differences though, eh? Like for a city, you know, the level of hosting, the level of PA and infrastructure that San Fran has in place is excellent.
Shout out to Ziggy and Tim. You guys are amazing. Bernie, who is our sound engineer and fourth member of this band, is actually the house tech at San Fran.
No.
But what about that Waido Valley show? You know.
Oh, that was amazing. But again, like the Dharma bums, the Dharma shed is like literally a wooden built room in the middle of a field, just a small little wood shed, and it just sounds incredible. And you know, the party's inside, but there's just as much party outside. You know, there's people turning up, and it's advised you bring your campers and your tents and you stay the night, and you know, you bring your own booze and your own food and whatnot. It's not actually like a venue. It's kind of like a house party. So
But
it's cool, but they're so very different.
Yeah, totally. And I think, you know, there's no best venue in a way. All of the jams are unique and dependent on the room, especially for the kind of music that we play. I think where we have to feed off each other and feed off the sound and feed off the audience.
Yacht Club was great last night. They've done some work on their sound insulation, and it's quite a small room as it was, but it was so bright, and they've really like tightened that up, and it was really cool. It was like just jamming in your rehearsal space.
It was a great jam.
Alright. So tell us about this album of yours, The Dark Arts.
It's we started recording. It's probably about 4 years ago, maybe 4.5 years ago, with Lee Preble down in Wellington, and he'd just built or transferred his recording studio from one end of Newtown in Wellington to the other, and we were all involved in that sort of transfer. He's Ryan's brother, the singer and guitarist, so and we just said let's book in that first month with him, and he was keen for that because he still had to fine tune the room, and you know, things weren't perfect, you know, but that was okay because it was us. And we just had this awesome month of time where we played music every day and night, and that period set the backbone of these, you know, as I said before, these pieces that kind of came together. And then in particular Ryan and his brother sort of worked on that record using like their control room or the studio as part of the composition.
It's a vastly
process, you know?
vastly different experience from the Big Nudge Pie, which was like 3 young nudgies just ready to slam out and make some, you know, record the tunes that we've been doing live, where Dark Arts was definitely a far more studio derived album. We had that we had that in mind. Let's just play the music and let's see what comes with it over that time. So it wasn't rushed, and hence why there's actually only 3 songs on the album, because one of them. Yeah, well, we kind of thought of the format, didn't we? Like, how would it
Vinyl.
be? How would it be heard? How here's a vinyl, and you open up, and what did we love as kids? Our folks' record collection, XYZ, all this stuff. So it kind of like just fell into place, and for that reason, the music is so vastly different than Big Nudge Pie. Oh, that, and also it's 5 years later or whatever,
Yeah, and it's been really interesting to then, to create a product that is for listening, and we talked a lot about that. Like, we want people to listen to it, just put it on in your listening environment,
The art of listening.
The art of listening, like in this kind of modern day where you're just flicking through and listen 5 seconds, switch. It's kind of like, no, this is a record. It's going to take up some of your time. Put it on, play some darts. It's actually the best darts soundtrack ever written.
Well, we did. I pushed for the dart as the title,
The title.
And I guess that's why Ryan, came out with Dark Arts in the end. So it basically was darts.
Darts, and like what that's actually done to the live show is really cool. Because there's these pieces that we play the whole album in the middle of the set, and it's a real space changer, a real like vibe changer.
Totally.
We go deep, the audience goes deep, and there's been elements of that in the live show previous, but this is like we would have never had that live had we not done that album in the studio, and I think often people say to us like, live's really where it's at for you guys,
They generally say play the old stuff too.
But
yeah,
also,
cool guys, some Big Nudge Pie.
Yeah.
Lol,
Totally.
I'm trolling.
But I like the way that sort of fed back, so into the live show now. It's gone full circle.
Yeah.
And influenced the live set.
Well, I mean, this tour has been around the Dark Arts, so it kind of it's to be expected, but to play the album, it's still 45 minutes long, even though it's 3 songs, smack bang in the middle of your set, so you've got like 20 minutes or half an hour of old bangers, and then you slam them out with the psychedelic, like actual trippy journey stuff, where some are like lost in that moment and they're like, this is a good time to get a drink. Others are just found in that moment and they're like, this is great, And then you go back out and head out with those big hit bangers at the end too.
I think it's a good show. I think it's a show worth seeing. I'd love to see it.
This guy.
In terms of...
Bro, you just need a GoPro. Just film yourself.
Yeah.
Hey.
I mean, why do you go to gigs? What do you go to gigs for? What's
talk,
the experience?
To be seen.
Well, that's right. Well, that's not...
It's not about the music,
breaking, I guess. But, I mean, you're into post-rock, so there's those bands that do that as well, right? Like, is that why you like post-rock? What is it about it? Like, what is it about the songs?
For me, I just like not even having to think. You can just sit and enjoy it.
Do you normally have to think when you're listening to music?
I listen to music while I work.
Right.
So it's good to have that in the background. It helps me concentrate better.
Right. It's like a white noise.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is post-rock? What happened after rock?
They kind of realised you didn't need a vocalist and kind of went just instrumental.
Oh, okay.
Bit more atmospheric.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a little bit related to what we do, I think. Compositions.
So tell me about your music videos.
What would you like to know?
where do you get the ideas?
Are you talking specifically a video in specific? You've asked that.
I think it was a dark arts video.
That I mean, there's like a bit of a narrative for that whole journey of this record. You know, when we were discussing about the cover and this whole thing, a good friend of ours was doing some pretty trippy night photography, and Ryan had said, "Hey, look, why don't we try and do a photo out in Red Rocks, and we'll do it at night and da 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 da." And I just happened to say, "Cool, why don't we like wear some wetsuits as if we're like surfers or we're going for a dive or whatever," because we wanted the dark arts and the album cover and this whole thing to be like one big psychedelic wave. So when you open the gatefold up of the album, you've got this psychedelic wave, and at the other end the band's in the pit playing out. So like when dark arts and the thought of the video came about, we were like, well, let's expand on that narrative, this water, the ocean, and like how it is actually completely another world, from up here where there's air and birds, and you drop down and you're in this whole other landscape, this whole other world that actually has fully yet to be explored. I mean, it's massive, and kind of wanted to keep it quite psychedelic, and with those frames and those points of reference, we contacted Renegade Peach, who are really good friends of ours, and said, here's an idea, what's your thoughts? And Mark Russell has whānau land out on Great Barrier Island, and got us out there in the winter, must have been last year, and shot it, and had he had his own amount of artistic voice, is what I'm saying. Like, here's a narrative, here's these ideas, let's play with this, but if we make the music and you make the video, well, then you make the video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Leave it to him.
Actually, it'd be great to expand on that with the next two songs. I'd really love to do like something kind of virtual reality or something like that. Would be quite cool. Yeah.
Alright, so we can expect a couple more music videos then.
Bro, you can always expect more.
Keen. Definitely something, a live one if we can as well.
But be prepared to be disappointed, bro. Expectations aren't good like that, eh?
That's true.
No, I mean,
it's all
like,
about getting someone to, or something, or some way to pay for a music video as well.
Yeah, I mean, I also think that, the Nudge, it's kind of probably a bit of a life band for us three. We'll have some good fights, some good, heated times, and some I'm outs, but, you always come back because it's actually really real. It's like a real, it's really us, It's not just some kind of joke or facade. So what I'm saying by that is that even if it's in 10 years' time or whatever, there will be more, because it's a true part of who we are. And I haven't really actually experienced that. I mean, I have. That's not the right thing to say, because Willie, my bro's back in the Bay, Tropics, they're a huge part of me and being a musician, for want of a better word. But I don't think I'd really ever found that kind of chemistry that I've found with James and Ryan, where we can be not talking to each other and then get on stage and all of that's put aside and just play the music,
Yeah.
That's a sign of a cool thing.
Yeah, the music's the safe space for us, which is awesome.
It's because we don't have to talk to each other.
Just like really loud communication.
I'll just play it a little bit faster.
Yeah, that'll get him.
Hey, you like that bass, do you? Hey, you like your bass hand like that, eh? No, I'm not the one out of time, bro. He's just not keeping up, eh?
All right, well, I better let you get back to it. You got a
Yeah, no,
sound
we're
check
about to go off and do the sound check, but they actually contacted us because it wasn't about an interview about us. We're actually going to interview these guys now.
Yeah.
So, Alex, who's your favourite Kiwi band at the moment? Who you like on high rotate?
Ooh, I'm waiting for the new City of Souls album to come out. And Setting Fire to Stacey, the Christchurch band, they're pretty high up there at the moment.
I never heard of them.
Never heard of them?
No.
No, just look out for them.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
They're kind of quite into pyro mania, like setting shit alight,
not quite.
like stages and venues. And,
Yeah, that would be cool.
I think they just love the question,
right.
the constant attention. People want to know who she is.
Oh right, I didn't think of asking who Stacey was. I got it. Set it alight, mate. Here we go.
Cheers.
Also, do you
Yeah.
have the vinyl format? Is that a way that you like to listen to music?
I do. I've got one of those little briefcases that you can open up. It's got a record player inside, so I can
Oh,
nice.
put it around.
Cool.
Yeah, CDs. Obviously, haven't bought CDs in years.
Yeah.
Really?
Only
I
if
love
I'm
my
reviewing, but yeah, I've got quite a few vinyl.
And do you manage to keep track of your digital collection? I hate my digital collection. You know, I just like something physical.
Not really. I suppose I've got a hard drive full of music, and
Yeah.
I'll just transfer stuff to the phone if I feel like listening to it. But the hard drive sits over there somewhere.
It's changed,
Totally.
eh? It's changed.
It has.
It has changed.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, you enjoy a song for a week, maybe a month, and then it goes away, and you never see it again. It's just
Yeah.
Well, you know, you
Oversaturated.
ask yourself, Creative New Zealand or these kind of funding bodies, here's $6,000 to make a video, or here's $6,000 to make a 30-second ad. What do you reckon would reach further? What do you reckon you get the most hits out of? You know, it's quite interesting. It'd be the 30-second ad, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
Living through a phone. Is this still recorded? Oh, damn.
I'm gonna use this.
This is good.
and the tables turned.
Okay, cat's off. It's over.
Cats off.
Hey,
You
well,
can leave.
thanks so much, guys. If you didn't know, these guys in the whole of MusicNet are all voluntary. They do it for the love of music, like Dallas said all those years ago. Do it for the love of music.
No, it's good.
So-
And good support throughout this tour for us as well.
Oh, great support.
Photographers and whatnot. Yeah, it's great.